So in this video, we're going to be making a Telegram mini app using React and Django. So we're going to be making use of React.js, which is a JavaScript library for making an interactive web applications, as well as we are going to be making use of Django and Django Ninja. Now, Django is a Python backend framework which is used to develop backend application or even a full stack application using Python. Now, we are going to be making use of the Django Ninja framework of library to do that. So here I have a folder called Telegram Mini App, and this is going to be a Telegram Mini App. This Telegram mini app is going to be embedded within Telegram as a native app that serves as a part of Telegram. So I'm going to move it to anti-gravity. As you guys know, we no longer write all these codes from scratch. So we just bring out a prompt and then work on it, work along it with our AI and the AI models. So AI agents helps us to do these jobs, and what we just need to do is just sit back, relax, monitor what it is doing, and then try as much as possible to control its activities, right? So for the design or the UI, we're going to be making use of the Google Stitch. So the Google Stitch, to get it, we just go to our browser and we go to stitch.withgoogle.com. So this is going to take us to the Stitch website. Now, Stitch is an AI agent that helps you to draw the UI. UI stands for your user interface. So how the interface of your application is going to look. So this is going to be a Telegram mini app, which means we are going to be making it have a mobile view only. So we are going to make sure that it is mobile view only. So we are not going to be making any other responsiveness like the tablet or the desktop. We're going to just maintain the mobile view only because this is going to be a mini app. Alright, so I have a prompt within my Telegram mini app directory, and this is a prompt I just write out. You can write your own prompt, but just make sure that your prompt is well detailed so that your agent can easily understand what you want to do. It's just like when a client meets you to build a website for them or an application for them, they will need to explain what they want. Then you can give them recommendation, but the first thing is that you must understand what that client wants, and that is what we are trying to make sure that since the agent is now the developer, I am the product manager or the project manager. So I need to tell the AI agent all the things I want inside the application, and it will recommend some certain things which you have to vet, and whichever thing that you like you can keep, whichever thing you don't like you can get rid of. So let's get on with that. So I'm going to just copy this thing. I'll just do Control A and then Control C to copy the prompt, and then take it to the anti-gravity and make sure that you are in app. So there is two options here for web and for app. So I will make sure that I am in the app. So I just have to paste what I have there and select the model that you want to use. So there are so many models, but this one is fast model. It says design fast with Gemini Flash, export design to code or Figma. Then this one is the Gemini 3 Flash, and this is high quality design in HTML with Gemini 3.0 Flash, export to coding agent. So this one is also okay. Then this one is thinking with Gemini 3 Pro, and it says uses Gemini 3 Pro, prioritizes maximum quality and reasoning over speed. That's it. So this one is redesign an existing application or site with Nano Banana Pro. So this one, if you want to redesign an existing website, you just have to give it some screenshots of that existing website, and it is going to redesign it with the Nano Banana. But for this, I am actually going to be making use of the Gemini 3 Pro because this is the most intelligent model. But not that I am speaking ill of these other ones. They have their um, limitations and their success. So let's pick this one. Now I'm going to click on generate. Now we are going to just relax and wait for it to do its job. So as you can see here, this is still generating the interfaces. So we will have to wait for it to completely generate it. But if you look at here, you will see that it is estimated that the time it is going to spend on this design is going to be 50 seconds. So depending on your network, it can take more than that, but um, let's just relax and wait for it. All right, as this one is generating the UI, we can simply return back to the anti-gravity. You know, anti-gravity is one of the best IDEs out there with AI agents that helps you do your job. So let's just go to anti-gravity back. And right now, what we will need to do is to have a separation of concern, create two directories, one for the front end and one for the back end. So to do that, we come here, call this one front end, front dash end. Let's create another one which is for the back end, back dash end. Okay, so right now we have front end and we also have back end. So let's close them. So for the back end, remember we are going to be using Python framework called Django. So we are going to create requirements.txt, requirements.txt. Now this file is what tells Python all the required modules to be able to run our application. So since we are going to be using Python for our backend, so let's just say we need Django, and the Django I will be needing is the version 6. I really want to use version 6.0.1. So this is the version I will be using for that. That is the one of the latest Django. And I'm going to be using the Django cause headers, and I'm going to also use Django Ninja. So I'm going to use Django Ninja. So I'm not really sure if this is the package name. So but when you are not sure, you can simply research. But you can see this is Django Ninja actually, because it shows the link to the PyPy the package directory or package um, storage. Okay, for now, I'm not going to be talking about the deployment for now. When I need the deployment, I can talk about the Django environment for the Django environment. But we can still do that by just pressing our tab to make sure that it installs. Django Redis for now, we don't need it. What other thing we may need for the .env to be able to read the .env file is the Python decouple. So let's uh, install it, python dash .env. I think this is also good. If we are going to be using an image, then we will use we will need so what we will need is going to be pillow. We will need pillow. So if you look here, you will see that we have some Telegram packages, which is Py Telegram bot API and Python Telegram bot. So these two packages, if you want to see full details about them, you can simply just click and open this in a website in a browser, and you will see what this package does. So it says a simple but extensible Python implementation for the Telegram bot API, both synchronous and asynchronous. So you can read more about this from PyPy. And this is some getting started documentation that you can find within there. So now our Telegram mini app UI has been created. So you can find out that it made the login page. This login page is going to be the same style for our register page, reset password page, and so on. So that's for that. It becomes a template for it. And then for the dashboard, you can see how it looks. For the track package, you can see how it looks. um, then for the higher logistics, you can see for the vendor shop, you can see. So everything is well arranged. I think this has given me exactly what I need. You can still zoom this by just zooming your computer. So this is the clearer view of what it looks like. Okay, so what I will do now is just start clicking on each of them, then go to more, click on this view code, and then copy the code. So let's wait for it to load the code, so we can simply click on copy code, and then we return back to anti-gravity. We now close the back end and go to the front end. And what I am going to do right here is just create some simple HTML, even though we are going to be using React, but I'm going to just create this simple HTML so that whenever I want to prompt for my pages in React, it can easily do that for me. So what I will do is come here and create login.html, and then paste the code I have copied right here. Go back to the browser, close this one. Then this is the home dashboard. I'm going to click here to view code, copy, and then come back to anti-gravity, and this is dashboard.html. Paste the code, close it, go back to the browser, go to track package, copy the code, back to anti-gravity, track dash package.html, paste it, close, back to the browser, close this one. Higher logistic is the next one. Click on this, copy the code, come back, and higher dash logistic.html, paste, go back. Then the last one is the vendor shop, view code, copy, and then create vendor dash shop. All right, so this is it. And oh, we have to rename this to .html. Okay, so Now, if you want to see this, you can simply just go to the login page, and then you can use your live server to view this thing. But for now, I'm not yet ready to view this code. So I have this. So what I will now do is come back to anti-gravity, and you can pick any model of your choice. Right now we have Gemini Pro High, Gemini Pro Low, Gemini Flash, Claude Sonnet, Claude Sonnet Thinking, Claude Sonnet Opus, and GPT OSS. So GPT is Chat GPT. Then this is Claude Opus. Then this is Claude Sonnet, and these are Gemini, right? So there is no DeepSeek model right inside here, but we can use any of these things to work. So let's pick the Claude Opus. So why am I picking this Claude? I've noticed that Claude knows how to listen to instructions and smartly make decisions. Even though Gemini 3 Pro um, gives you much more features and efficiency, this one understands instruction very well and structures the app according to how you will need it. So simply I am going to pick it and come right here and tell it to go and study my prompt. So I'll tell it study the prompt.txt to understand what this project is about. Then we start with the backend first before proceeding with the front end. Now guys, I know that you may need this prompt, but what will happen is that I am going to be leaving this repository empty, open. I'm going to leave it as a public repository. So one of the advantages you get from watching my videos is that you get to have access to the project. You can clone it or fork it into your own repository, and have the freedom to um update it or do whatever you want to do with it. Anything you see in my video is usually open source, so which means I leave it free for you to modify as you want. Okay, so make sure you subscribe, hit on the notification bell so that anytime I post a video you get notified, as well as whenever I go live, whenever I stream, I would like you to join me. If you click on the notification bell, whenever I stream you will get notified. So let's continue. So let's just send this. Now let's wait a little bit for the AI to understand our project structure and what we want in that particular project, and then it will tell us how we will go about this, or even go ahead to um, implement the changes. Okay, you can see it is trying to understand the whole thing right inside here. So it is suggesting that the database should be SQLite for development, or should I need Postgres or MySQL setup. So for now, I don't have MySQL client set up in my laptop. I don't even have Postgres because this laptop is a very small laptop. So let's use SQLite. Uh, Everything is as I want. Let's read and see what it found out. It says Let me also explore this. Now I have a good understanding of the project. Let me summarize and proceed. So the summary of the core features is user authentication, login, register, logout, password reset. Hire truck rider, user can book logistics service, package tracking, track package via tracking code sent to email, report violation, report fraud or fake activities, vendor shopping, buy product from vendor, delivery booking, hire rider truck for vendor product delivery with tracking. Tech stack for the front end, React.js with Tailwind CSS, mobile only view. You can see it vividly understood the entire project. Backend Django plus Django Ninja for API. You can see integration, and it is going to integrate Telegram bot API for our mini app, right? So, and it is saying that right now our backend has requirements.txt with some typo, okay? And some of the typo is we said Django, but we typed DJNANGO. So we need to correct that from the requirements.txt. Django, Django. So this is where the mistake is. Django. So we have corrected that mistake. Front end has some HTML template, so it knows every single thing that we want. So let us tell it to start. Okay, it says, what approach would you prefer? Also for few clarification questioning. So for database, so let's tell it for database. For database, we will use SQLite, and then it says Telegram bot. Do you already have a Telegram bot taken, or do I need to account for that in the setup instruction? So let's say for the Telegram bot, account for that in the what? Setup instruction. Setup instruction. What other question did it ask? It says email service. Which email provider will you use for sending tracking code? So we are going to use we are going to use uh, the default Django SMTP console backend for email, just for testing. So let's end this. Now this will give it a clearer view of what it is about to do. So it is very important that it understands every single details of what you want it to do. So right now it knows what we want, and it has created an implementation plan. So let's look at the implementation plan. A Django plus Django Ninja API for logistic tracking, Telegram mini app. Proposed changes. We have Django project structure, and here we have the config, which is going to be the project, because we have settings.py inside it, urls.py and whiskey.py. And then we have the app, which is going to have our accounts, logistic tracking, vendor, and report. So I think this is going to create it as separate apps. Then we have the API, which is going to control the versions of our API. So you can see it does this thing professionally, so that when you have a new version of API, you can create it as a separate version of your API. And so that it doesn't affect old users that are using that particular API. So you just have to announce to them that you have a new version of that API so that they can easily migrate without affecting their performance and their users um, uh, experience. So right now it has created a virtual environment for us. So I think the next thing is it is trying to install all the requirements. That's Django, Ninja, Python.env and all that. So it is currently installing it into this virtual environment VEMV. And if you want to check it, you can look at it right from the, I think includes, okay, the site packages. So you can see Pillow has been installed, Pydantic was installed, because the Django Ninja uses Pydantic um, for for that. So so it has also created the Django project, and also it has created apps directory. So the apps directory, I think, is supposed to contain all our apps. As you can see right from here, is going to contain all our apps. So we're going to have different apps that we control all the different endpoints. And if you are watching closely, you can see we have python manage.py start app, and it is running all of them one after the other. Now I can simply open my terminal here, then use command prompt because I like using command prompt very well. Now let's activate this virtual environment so that we can also test these things by ourselves. Even though this may have activated the virtual environment within its own terminal, I don't want to depend on it. I want to have my own running separately. So I'm going to just do that. VEMV backslash, because I'm using Windows, scripts backslash activate. Okay, we need to do cd into the backend, back dash end, and then before we run this, okay, so this virtual environment has been activated. Now if you are using Mac or Linux, the command I use here may not work for you. So the command you have to use is the name of the virtual environment, which is in my case is VEMV. So you will say source is SOURCE, source space, then VEMV slash. So you are going to be using forward slash bin forward slash activate, and you press enter. That is going to activate your virtual environment. That is if you are using Mac or Linux. Okay, so let's see the condition right now. So you can see it is currently working on the models. You can see it is currently working on the models. And one thing I love about this is that once it is done, you can simply come and check out whatever it has done to see if it gives you exactly what you want. If that is not what you want, you can actually either edit it, or you can tell it to do the changes. Just explain the changes to it, and it is going to do that for you. All right. So let's wait until the backend is fully generated and we can test it out. Our backend is fully done, and you can see it is running manage.py run server on IP 0.0.0.0 port 8000. So for me, I'm going to use my own local host, which is 127.0.0.1 for port 8000 for running my own. So let's go here and do that. Python manage.py run server. And this server is going to be run on the port 8000 because Django's default port is port 8000, while I think React is going to be running on port 3000. So let's see what we have on the browser. So it says not found, but this is because we are accessing the wrong URL. So let's try /API slash version 1. Let's see, version 1 slash docs. Let's see. So all right, so this is the API, and you can see all the different endpoints for the user registration, for the login, for the Telegram authentication, for the password reset, for the password reset confirm, for the logout, for package tracking, and so on. A lot of this thing for delete, vendor shop, report, and you also find out that there are schemas that it has created for us so that we can actually see. So this is a good documentation for us. So if you look at this, you see that this is a very, very wonderful documentation for this website. So this is the API for our backend. You can actually log in by clicking on the authorize. But before you use this authorization, you need to actually create an account from here and log in. So once you are logged in, you will have a token given to you. So that token is the JSON token, the JWT token, JSON Web Token. So this JSON Web Token is what you now paste inside this place, and it authorizes you to be able to access all other endpoints because this is secured with user authentication. Now, some of you that may not make sense of these things, um, I'm going to have a video dedicated to training you on how to use user authentication and all that. So stick to this channel, make sure you subscribe, and always come back to see what I've got for you guys. Okay, so let's now go back and work on the front end. So the back end is ready. Now, why did I do the back end first? So doing the back end first makes it easier for the front end to know what exactly they are building, and they can test it out and see that it is actually working, because it is not just about the UI but the functionalities. So let's go to the front end. Everything is done, so let's accept, and we're going to move to the front end. So for me to move to the front end, I will need another terminal. I will not touch this particular terminal, but I will use another one. So I'll click here, select command prompt again, and I'll leave this one for now. Then okay, you can see I am currently in Telegram mini app, which is the main directory of this project, so I don't need to do anything. So let's just close the back end and open up the front end. So now let's tell it to now do the front end with React and Tailwind. Now do the front end with React JS and Tailwind CSS, and then make sure to connect to the API provided by the backend. Okay, so let's push it. Okay, so now we are going to focus on the front end, and to be able to use React, you know what we need. We need our node package manager. So for you to be able to run React, if you have not, if this is is the first time you are doing anything React, you need node package manager. You need node installed on your application, on your laptop or computer. And to make sure that you have node, just simply come here and type node space dash dash version or node space dash v. This is going to show you the current version of node that you have in your computer. So in my own, I have node version 22.21. This is the current version of node that I have on my system. So you make sure you have node. If you don't have node, go to nodejs.org to download node. Alright, so you can see npm create vit at latest. Alright, so I'm going to run this code and wait for it to complete the React installation. So within my front end, it is going to install React. So as you can see right here, we have React installed. And this is going to be using the Vite framework of React to run these things. And one thing I love about anti-gravity is that it is going to make sure that you don't have any dependency issues. Because normally, if you are using React and you want to install Tailwind directly, if you don't know your way around it, sometimes you get a lot of problem. But when you use this, it solves it. And for some of you that have not really used TypeScript before, you can actually use TypeScript right from here and everything will work. You just need to put it up in the prompt that you want to use TypeScript for your React. And you can see node modules are here already. And for the public, this is where you have the Vite and some of your static files. This is the source which contains your application. You can see we have the app dot. Let me even close all these ones because we don't need them for now. So app.css, then app.jsx. So right here, this is the normal Vite um, minimal app. And then this is main.js, which extends all other things into this. So guys, if you are yet to learn React, you can also use my React course in my channel. I have a React course which I will be tagging in this video. Okay, so you can see we are using Axios for our API, and we are also using the React router DOM to be able to make the routes. Okay, so you can see that the vitconfig.js, you can see what we have. So the export default, it is going to target the backend which is on localhost port 8000, because if you go to our Django, you can see that the Django is running on port 8000, localhost port 8000, which is 127.0.0.1 port 8000. So this is localhost. Then for the API.js, you can see we are using Axios. So my own is, I am just watching what it is doing. I am just going to always monitor what it is doing. When it is wrong, I'll tell it that it is wrong, but you barely see it get wrong. But normally, as AI, sometimes it may just get everything wrong and you need to just correct it. Okay, so everything currently is fine to me, and the way it structures the website and the directories within it is perfect. This is exactly what I want. Then for the loading spinner, you can see also gave us a spinner. Then log out layout. This is our layout. My own is just look at what it gave me, accept if it is good. So this is really wonderful that at a time like this we could do this kind of thing. So this will help us to build a website within a day. No matter how complex this website is, you can build a website in a day within some couple of hours. And what you just need is just stay consistent, learn how to give prompts, learn how to do these things normally, because it is only when you understand what you are doing that you will find out, you know, when AI is making a mistake and you correct it. But if you don't know anything about this, I'm sorry for you. That's why I guess, skeptical when some people say AI is going to take your job. AI is not going to take your job. AI is an efficiency tool. AI helps you to get efficient, right? So when you don't know anything, you can't give AI any instruction that will give you a perfect result. But when you know a little bit of what you want, that is the only time when you can actually give a command to AI and AI understands it perfectly like a professional. And I'm happy with this. Everything it is doing, I am happy with it because it knows exactly what I want. And you can see the task. So whichever task that is completed, it will mark it. So if you watch here, you can see that planning backend architecture created this Django and all that logistics. So this is for the backend, and for the front end, it created the React project setup, initialize with and React Tailwind, configure Telegram mini app SDK. So it has done the Telegram mini app SDK. This is what I had wanted to show you how you could do it, but you can see it has configured the mini app SDK within our application. So you don't need to do this again. Then the next thing it will be doing is the authentication pages. The That's the login, the logout, the register, the reset password pages. And then it will enter the dashboard, then the tracking, package tracking, higher logistics, vendor shop, and report violation. So let's wait for it. All right, guys, you can see that we are done. Everything is working perfectly as I can see here. Let's just go ahead and test it out, because from what I can see right here, it means that everything is working perfectly. So let's just click on accept. You can either click from select from here, or you can come to this place and run npm start. Let's see. All right, let's just go to the top and try opening it right from here. Okay, so the server is running. Let's see. I'm going to use the extension I have here, which is mobile simulator extension, so that, because we developed it as a mobile only application. So this is how it will look. And right here we have welcome to logistic tracking and all that and all that. So let's try to get started. So it says track package, hire logistic, vendor shop and all that. Let's click on get started. So it takes us to the login page. So let's try registering. I'm going to register with this Louis Chris, this username. For email, I'm going to use this. Phone number is optional. Let's use this. So this is the password we are going to be making use of. Or you can see we can also log in with Telegram. So once we have created a Telegram bot, we can easily log in with Telegram. So but for now, I have not created any Telegram bot. I will show you how to create the Telegram bot with Telegram bot further. But for now, let us just complete everything that has to do with our application, because we need to first of all host this application before our Telegram mini app can work perfectly. So but for now, let's just click on create account. Let's see if this account will be created. So the account has been created. Let's look at the backend database to see if this Louis Chris was actually recorded in our database. So let's go back to anti-gravity and close this terminal. Let's just close everything we have here. So close everything we have here. And what do we want to do? We are going to close the front end, go to the back end and look for the db.sqlite3. Then let's wait for it to load, and let's go to the user or users. And you can see we have one user, and that is Louis Chris. So everything is working perfectly, guys. Every single thing is working perfectly. You can see this is exactly what we just uploaded, and this is the ID of the user, the Telegram phone number. So when the user uses Telegram to log in, we get their phone number stored right here. So this is the password. The password is always hashed so that you don't see the original password. Okay, and we also have the users group, but we don't have any user group now. User permissions, vendors, we don't have any vendor right now. Driver, other item, others, packages, reset password token. That's if you want to reset your password. So everything is working as they should. So we have done a very perfect job. Let me just close all these subdirectories. We have done a wonderful job. Let's just navigate through and see what all these things are. So let's keep on track package. So this is where you have to put the package tracking number, and right here is where you can hire somebody. So hire motorcycle, car, van, truck. So if you want to hire a motorcycle, pick up address, you put out all the details about what you want to pick up and address and all that, so that the person can easily contact you. Then for the shops, there is nothing currently in the shop. So, but let's try, because if you go back to this place, it says we also have an admin, which is right here. So let's also uh, click to take us to the admin. Let's see. So this is the Django admin. So we can create a super user and use that super user to access our admin. So let's create a super user. So we can simply go to the this place. Then we can create another command line and make sure that we are in the backend. So we can do cd back dash end, and then we try to activate the virtual environment vmv backslash scripts backslash activate. Now we are in the virtual environment. Let us do python manage.py create super user. Now for this super user, I'm going to use my normal testing username, which is going to be Prof Rishi. For the email address, profrishi at gmail.com. For the password, I'm going to use your email didn't match. Sorry, your password didn't match. Let's try again. This password is too common. Yes, I want to use it like that. Now, you can see we have created a super user. So we can try logging in with that super user. So Prof Rishi. Now we are logged in into the Django admin. So this is one reason why I love Django, because Django creates an admin by default to you for you. So you don't need to do anything. The only thing is make sure you know how to tweak it around and your website is ready. So this is very fast for prototyping and other things. So let's see. So first thing first, let's look for vendors, or rather um, let's create products first. So the vendor, we don't have any vendor right now, but we can actually create vendors. So to create vendors, I can simply click here and say that Prof Rishi is a vendor, and the name is going to be, let's say, Shibikeze, and we can put up some random definition or description. You can put a logo. Let's add some random logos right here. So I'm going to just put up some random images just to make everything look perfect. Phone number, I'm going to put any phone number right here. Instead of using this email, because I've used it before, I'm just going to use this one. And set is verified and save. So I have this vendor. So then the category, let's say they sell TV. And you can see slug has been created. So let's use TV as the icon. Save. Then the name is going to be, let's put Sunny TV. Description, this is a Sunny TV. Price, let's say the price is 250,000. Discount is 10%. And we have to put the image. So let's look for Sunny TV and then download some of them. So let's download this one because we want to use it for that. Save image. Save this one too. Save image. Now let's get back to the admin again. For the image, let's upload this particular image. How many in stock? Let's say there are 10 in stock. Available weight in kg. So let's say this is 14 kg. And then let's save. So this TV has been added. Now let's see how this thing will look in the front end. Let's see how it will look here. So let's refresh. Okay, so you can see we have a vendor right here, and one vendor, the vendor is Chibike Eze, and we can simply click on this vendor, and you can see the vendor has only one product, which is Sony TV. So one thing we find out here is that we are not getting the image. Let's see if this image is actually, let's see if this image is actually um saved. So let's see. So the image is actually saved. So we are supposed to be getting that image in the front end, but we are not getting it in the front end. As you can see right here, we are not seeing any image. So let's tell it to do that. So we are going to come back here and tell it in the front end in the shop page, make sure that the product image is being displayed. All right, let's see. So you can see everything is working perfectly as we wanted. So we have been able to do this. In my next video, I am going to be showing you how to create a Telegram bot using the Telegram bot further, and then connecting your application directly to the Telegram so that it can sync and work directly with Telegram. And I'm also going to be deploying this application on Vercel. I'm going to be deploying the front end on Vercel while deploying the back end on Render. In another video, I am also going to use the DynamoDB from AWS and the EC2 um, to deploy the application, as well as also use the Google Cloud Run to deploy the backend in the next video. So if you want to learn all these things, make sure you subscribe, hit on the notification bell so that anytime I post a video, you get notified. Let's see what it has done. Okay, it is even still it has done it already. Let's see what it has done. So we are right in the Chibike. So let's pick it. So you can see the image is broken. The image is broken, which means this image is not being properly loaded. So let's see if there is a problem with this image. So, but we're not going to be doing any much thing because I don't have the time to start looking for all these things. So let's just go back there and tell it the image seems broken. Please fix. Let's wait. So it says these changes are live. The front end will automatically load. When product images are added by Django admin, they will now display properly in the front in the shop. Okay, let's wait for it, sha. Any changes that it is doing, we are not going to be bothering ourselves with it. We just have to wait for it to complete anything it is doing. So you can see it says fixed. I've added the media proxy to the vit configuration. Now when the front end requests image from the media, they will be properly forwarded to the Django backend at this, the vit and all that. So we are going to use npm run dev. So let's try npm run dev. npm run dev. So this is going to run the React. Okay, I think the React is still running from this side. Okay, so it says we should do press Ctrl C to stop, then rerun it from here. So, but I think this is running it for us, so we don't need to do anything. So you can see it is now returning this thing. So let's add to cart. So you can see one item has been added to cart. You can also increase it and you will see what we have is the price is 10 naira, but this is the original price. Now the price is 10 naira and we added 3, so we get 30. So let's click on it to check out, and then we enter our delivery address. So let's enter number 3 anything street, anything street, anywhere, USA. Okay, for the phone number we can enter some random phone number. And for the note it is optional, so let's click on place order. Failed to create order. So let's see why this has failed to create the order. Let's see. So we can simply go to the backend. So let's go to the backend and see. So there is a problem. So the problem is that it is returning 405. So let's just copy this. It says method not allowed. So we tried to access the vendor order and it is saying method not allowed. So we tried to check out and it didn't work. And I checked the backend server report and found this. So I've given it this error. So let's see how it fixes this error. So this is where you find all the things, all the report from what it is doing. And now it says, now I understand the issue. I need to reorder the route so that others route come before the order ID route. Let me completely rewrite the file with proper route ordering. So I need to do something because this should be very critical. So what I need to do is to make sure that I push this to Git, so that if there should be any misorderliness or disorderliness, I can easily revert to the previous version. But I think it has fixed it. So let's see if this order will work. So order has been placed successfully. And if I go to the backend, that's to the admin, let's look for orders. You can see we have an order, and this is the order ID. This is the order ID. So we have an order right here with the order ID. And let's go to the home. So you can see we have one order, right? So, and we can't just track it because this is not a package. So this is very wonderful, and we have dark mode and we also have light mode. So for the light mode, you can see how it looks. I am going to now deploy this to GitHub. I'm going to now commit this to Git, and I will leave it open for all of you to fork, so that you can fork it into your own GitHub account. So let's do that. So simply go to source control, click initialize repository, and do your commit. So I'm going to say first and final commit. Commit, and then it will tell you to publish to GitHub, to publish branch, and look at this. This is private, this is public. I'm going to pick public repository, and this is going to be published in GitHub. I'll see you in my next video. If you have any question regarding anti-gravity or React or Django Ninja, which I used in this video, please make sure to use the comment section. If there is a particular video you would want me to do, or any application of your choice that you would want me to do, please use the comment section to ask that question or recommend it to us. I will see you in the next one. Take care.